Good morning. This is Kathleen Griffin. This is the Friday, March 12th a.m. session of the Board of Assessment Appeals hearings in Conference Room 3.
I don't think so.
No, these are just the sworn statements that you were here representing.
I don't believe so. I mean, I print them for everybody. I can't.
No, I'm not asking that. Because Carol did 43 this morning, right? So when I print them, 43.
But you'd only have to do it once.
And we'll just write this thing, but the range of appeal numbers on the top.
Sure. Yeah, you wouldn't have to. Yeah, you wouldn't have to swear them in each time. You'd swear them in for the
I
session.
have to swear in if he's an attorney.
Right.
This question is you need to sign three.
What's that now?
So you need to sign all 30.
No.
No. Okay. Just need to sign one and we'll
And then
say
just
that.
note it and copy
Even though
it.
I'll just cross off the property number. Right, because each one has the property.
Or take maybe a blank.
Okay, you got a blank right here, right?
Yeah, you just want a blank one for this.
Yep, got it.
That'll make it easier.
Good idea.
Write it up, the appeal document.
Yep.
You're good.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
So come on and have a seat. I don't know if you've done any of this before, but we have.
I have, not here, but.
You have not here. You have a new process with COVID. We have to have the hearings recorded.
Yep.
And we have to have, all additional paperwork. We have to have things online. So I want to make sure my recording's going. So. Okay, so you have a lot of them. I think, are you going to talk about them individually? Or how would you want to present them?
That's up to you.
Okay. All right, well, let's just start with, let's just start that, I'm going to do it a little bit in reverse because you have so many. So I'm just going to start with me. I'm going to just make sure you confirm who you are and sign in and tell me what you got. Okay, so good morning. I'm Kathleen Griffin. I'm one of the 9 members of the Board of Assessment Appeals. I'm going to hear your appeals this morning, and your hearings are also being recorded there on that box. So for each one of the appeals, I do need to state the appeal number, the property, who the owner is, all of that. And if you could, but since you're going to do multiple, why don't you just for the record state what your name is and whether you're the owner or the duly authorized agent for these properties.
Yep. My name is Michael Correa, and I'm the agent for Regency Centers.
Okay.
The owner.
Oh, Regency Centers is the owner of all of them.
Right.
Okay, great. And you can have a seat. Sometimes my voice doesn't make it into the box, so that's why. Between the mask and the glass.
Yeah, no, I get it.
You know what it can do. Okay, so do you have something to present for each one of these?
I submitted everything today.
Okay.
Presented.
Yeah, so whether, again, because it's being recorded, you can, well, let's just start with the first one. We'll see how we go kind of there. So, okay, so it's 905. The first one I have on my list is appeal number 421, 1261 Post Road. Is that right? Is that one?
Yep.
Okay. You obviously have them in a different order. If you want me to go out of order,
Right. No, that's okay. I just
Okay.
have to check. I think 1261 and 1221 operate as one economic unit. Just have to make sure. Yeah, so 1261 and 1221 Post Road.
Do you want to take those? Okay, 1261 and 1221. 1261 is appeal number 421, and 1221 is appeal number 654.
Well, it looks like I did separate them up. We can do them individually. Sorry about
So
that.
do you want to do those two first, so this is
Sure.
similar?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So I'm just going to read for appeal number 421, 1261 Post Road. I'm just going to read some information into the record. If you can just confirm for me that it's accurate. So this is appeal number 421. Property address is 1261 Post Road. The owner of the property is RK Brickwalk 2 LLC. The town value is $5,200,160, and you are requesting a reduction to $3,983,000. Is that all correct? Yes.
That's assessed value, right?
Appraised.
Appraised value.
Right, the 5.2 million is what the town has you at, and according to the form,
Right.
we asked you for your fair market value, so I see oh, wait a minute. I have the wrong one, let me make sure I'm reading the right one, 1261 Post Road. Yeah, I see the ask amount of $3,900,000, so maybe, I think it's right here, 421. Okay, so your ask amount is $5,690,000. Is that right?
Right.
So that's actually higher than the, no. Something's wrong with this
Right.
sheet. I wonder if the numbers are, because sometimes when they're similar, let me just see if the numbers are mixed up for the other one. Nope.
And 1221.
Okay. Well, you know, let me correct it on here, and I just, let me look up the field card online for this property and make sure, see what the town value, because usually that comes right from the assessor's office.
Yeah, so I have the appraised value at 7.4, assessed 5.2.
Okay, give me 1 second, let me look this up, where am I going? Math. Uh, 1260, do we say 1261?
Right.
This particular property, the town has appraised at $7,400,000, according to the field card.
Correct.
$7 million. Yeah, so it looks like it's wrong. Maybe they have the wrong property ID. Division ID 15188. All the things we don't put the property ID on here, and it's not on here. Maybe that's why. All right, let me correct the sheet.
Yeah.
No, it's not your fault. Let me get it from online. So it's $7 million. The town is at $7,428,800. And your requested reduction is to, can you just read me that number again?
$5,690,000.
$5,690,000. And the property ID. I think it's the vision number. Okay, it's 15188. Probably why. Let me change that in my notes. That now matches what you submitted. Okay, now I don't have anything in the folder for this other than the affidavit, field number 421, and then the field card. So do you think you submitted paperwork for this one ahead of time?
Yes, I did with each parcel.
Yeah, I'm wondering because this one was wrong, if the paperwork is just missing from this folder. So let me just look and see if it's online too.
You know what it is? It could be with the 1221 house.
That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah.
Let me just see what because yeah, this year we've had to put everything online. They've scanned tens of thousands of pieces of paper. It's been, I don't even know how they've been doing it downstairs. I mean, I give them all the credit in the world.
Honestly, it hasn't been easy for anyone.
No. And we're trying to be as transparent as possible. That's the Saturday agenda because I am not even on today. This is the morning. Let's see what they have. Hearing room 3 with me. 1261 Post Road, field number 421. Yeah, they don't have anything. Is the field card picture correct? Let me just show you what I have for a picture.
So that's the front half.
Is this it? Is that the right field
Yes.
card anyway? Okay, we got the right field card. Okay, so I apologize. So you think maybe the paperwork for this one is in the 1261, 1221. Let me look.
Right, because
I see an income statement.
Yeah, so the income statement is listed as brick walk 1, buildings 4 and 7. So 4 and 7 are 1221 and 1261. If you see the income statement there.
We've been doing residential for.
Yeah, no, I get it.
It's a big switch in my brain to try to go the other way.
Yeah.
Okay, so okay. So your income and expense reports are in here. So I'm just going to read the second property into the record as well.
Okay.
Let's make sure the dollar amounts are correct on that one,
Sure.
and then we can do those two together. And I will let you know that the paperwork needs to go on both of them. So,
I did separate them out.
You did? Okay. I wonder. Well, let me just take a look at a second. Let's get the second one into the record. So, okay. So the second appeal is appeal number 654, property address 1221 Post Road. Owner of the property is RK Brickwalk LLC. Town value is $8,220,170, and the requested value is $4,852,400.
That's right.
Note appraised, so I'm going to go into this one's wrong too. So let me fix this one. Because I see it on your sheet. Town value is 11.
Correct.
Okay. I wonder if he did the commercials backwards. He
Yeah,
better not have.
Town value is 11,743,100.
Yep, I see that on your sheet. And you're asking to go to $6,932,000. Okay. So if you want to present these two together, it's basically you reading into the record. I'm not,
Yeah, so,
as to why you believe the market values on these two properties shouldn't be what the town has it at, and whether, what it should be, what you're asking a reduction to.
sure. The number one thing that I think affects the valuation by the town or the contractor for the town is that looking at the actual income statements, when you take the actual income, it doesn't include tenant improvements, concessions, that's built into the rent at the inception of the lease. There should be some sort of deduction downward to the actual rents and actual income to reflect the tenant improvements and the concessions, especially with retail properties. I think even before, even pre-COVID, I think brick and mortar retail was certainly on the decline even prior to that. And then the other thing is the actual occupancy.
Okay, I'm sorry. Should we reduce? Can you just list those three things for me?
Sure.
What were they? Because the leasehold improvements.
The tenant improvements.
The tenant improvements.
So when they sign a lease, there's a tenant improvement allowance for the tenant. So the build out is taken on by the owner, by the landlord, and that money that's expended is built into that rent.
Okay, so if I understand right, you guys are actually improving the property for them. They're not paying for that, and then you increase the rent based
Correct.
on
So
that.
that's, let's say it's a $30 rent reflects those improvements. So over a 5-year period, you say deduct a couple of dollars off the rent. I didn't do actual calculations for each of these as far as how much the tenant improvements were.
Right.
But the biggest thing that stuck out to me with these two, which is why I put them together, is so the full market value of these two, and I mean they're right next door to each other, similar tenants, similar rents. One's at 1261 Post Road is at $335 per square foot.
I'm sorry, 1221 Post Road.
Right.
Similar tenants, but yet this one is how much a square foot?
So it's at $335 per square foot.
Okay.
And the 1221 Post Road property is at $477 per square foot for the assessment.
And 1221 is at 475?
477.
477 per square foot. Okay.
So I guess what I would offer is some sort of compromise around that $300 per square foot for both. Not necessarily my target number, which is around 257 to 282 per square foot.
Are they the same size?
They're very similar. One is 22,000 square feet.
Which one is that? The 1261?
1261 is 22,174 square feet.
174 square feet. Okay.
Yep. And 1221 is 24,597.
597.
Correct.
And there's no real difference between the two buildings. One is front of the street. One is at the
Correct.
rear.
Correct.
They
Yep,
both are front facing Post Road.
Yep. One was built, and it's actually the one that's older. The one that was built in 1973, 1221, is the higher one, and 1261 was built in 1980.
1973 higher. Okay. But built in 73. And the other one was built in what, 80?
1980.
1980. Okay. Okay, and so how did you come up with your ask amount? So, I mean, it's almost 50% on at least the 1221 one, right, and the 1261.
Yep, so I did a market pro forma income approach. Again, I used a $30 per square foot rent to, an effective rent to take into account those tenant improvements and concessions.
Okay.
The tenant build-out allowances. 15% vacancy in order to account for, I know 1261 is fully occupied, 1221 isn't, but we still have turnover vacancy, in addition to the economic occupancy. So, one of these units go vacant, it's a little different than like an apartment or something. When a commercial property, when a unit goes vacant, it's vacant for minimum 6 months. It's usually a year, sometimes even longer than that. Right. So that's why I think even when a property says, it's 95% occupied or 100% occupied, I think we have to build in some economic, vacancy in there to reflect that turnover.
Okay. Okay, so you're figuring in $30 per square foot effective rent, including the tenant
Correct.
improvements in that price.
Okay.
And did you have an informal hearing, do you know?
I did.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Anything else you want to tell me about those two? And I just want to make sure that whatever is in number 854 for the, you said, the income statement in here should be in, let's see. GL 2012-21 post road analysis. Income statement.
Yep.
Okay.
And it should be, and a rent roll as well.
And a rent roll. Okay.
And again, this includes both properties together.
Okay, so that's why this particular piece should be in both folders, really, because this back of it's from both.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I have another copy if that helps you.
Actually, it does, because we'll just put the hard copy in the other folder, and I'm just going to write on this one. So, let's see, there already is in appeal number 654, the backup is in there for 1221. I'll get myself confused here. Okay, and so what I don't have it in is 1261, because we have all the backup on. Well, actually, I don't know if they're putting this online. I don't know how we're handling commercials. If all the, personal property and stuff is up there. It's going to be additional for 1241. Matches. Okay. Any thoughts? You know more what you have and what's adjoining other properties than I do, so feel free to tell me what you want to do next.
I don't have them in any particular order.
Okay.
But 1125.
1125. Okay, what do you know? The
Post
number?
road. Yeah.
1125. I see it. So it's number 656.
Right, 656.
If you need light on over there, turn it on. I love the natural light, so I feel free. The switch is behind you, and everybody's eyes are different. Okay. And if you're cold too, let me know, but I'm also, again, enjoying having the beautiful weather today.
Love the fresh air.
Oh, my goodness. Okay. And sometimes these rooms get brutally hot. Okay. So, again, for this one, I'm just going to read it into the record.
Sure.
Correct me if any of it's wrong, and if we consistently have the wrong values, I'm going to go take a minute and go to the assessor's office and ask him to help me with that, because I'm not sure why all these are printed wrong. If he's done all the commercials one way, I just want to figure that out. So the appeal number is 656. Property address is 1125 Post Road. The owner of the property is RK Brick Block 5 LLC. And here's the values. The town value is $2,184,490. And you're requesting a reduction to $1,610,000.
Yes, no.
That's the wrong tier. Okay.
Right.
Can you give me 1 minute? I'm going to go down and ask him if he's done this with all of them, and then this will save us a little bit of time. I'll be right back. It is true, I'm going to tell the others who did that for this morning. He converted all of the sheets to assess by mistake.
Sorry.
Okay. Okay, sorry about that. It happened for everybody, so one of us figured it out, and the other one's on his fourth with an attorney, and he was totally fine, so, all right. That is different. Okay. So we're going to talk in assessed dollars this morning. Is that okay with you? That might be the easiest way.
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay. It just won't match the. It's just going to match everything else we have here. Okay. So I'm going to read it as. Did I read it into the record? Yes. So let me read. I'll just restate it. It was appeal number 656, 1125 Post Road. Owner of the property is RK Brickwalk V LLC. Town assessed value is $2,184,490. You're requesting to go to an assessed value of $1,610,000.
Okay, and if you want to read 1139, it's 1125 and 1139. Again, together on the income statements. It's appeal number 424.
Okay, so I'm going to read this one into the record as well. This is appeal number 424. Property address is 1139 Post Road. Owner of the property is RK Brickwalk 5 LLC. Town has the property assessed at $4,211,620. The requested value is $3,479,965. Okay, let's see if the same thing happened with the income statement this time.
Do you have another copy?
Yeah, I see blue color on this one,
Yep.
and one is black. So it looks like one. So it is correct. This time they're both in the. It looks like we're good. So just want to make sure we get that. Okay, and now your chance to present the case for these two properties.
So with these two, between the two, the total vacancy is almost 20%. So it's 81 point, and there's a copy of the rent roll that was submitted. It's 81.98% occupied, so just about almost 20% vacant. And there are several leases here that are set to renew in 2021, and just from a market value standpoint and from an investment standpoint, when a property, number one, suffering from vacancy, number two, with several leases coming due, and there's, plenty of competing space and plenty of vacant space available, I think it makes it difficult to try to release these spaces without, a significant amount of concessions to retain the current tenants, even if possible. In my income pro forma, I used the $25 per square foot rent. There are several units that are even below that at $19, and Sprint's a little higher, but I assume that was a build out. And there are other tenants that are higher, but there are also tenants that are below that. So essentially, an average effective rent. I use an 8% cap rate on the pro forma income, but even taking the actual income at a 7% rate, cap rate, indicates a low value. I used an 8% cap rate just for the additional risk with retail for, again, not only the COVID impact and the impact of the pandemic on retail, but I just feel that brick and mortar retail, as I mentioned previously, has been impacted even before the pandemic.
Do you want us to switch in the middle of the hearing, or do we say? Harold, Catherine noticed right away. Harold didn't notice at all, so I'm tempted to say don't interrupt his process. He has 43. It was probably a mistake to put him in there along with 43.
Maybe at the end of his call, we should just say that,
I went in and told him.
The value's read, or...
We read it into the record. The attorney.
So do you want me to give these to him or not?
I think it's just going to cause confusion.
What's that?
I think it's going to cause confusion.
Okay.
And I may just stay with us today as well, because it's all commercial. Is there any reason why we shouldn't do that?
Yeah, at least you guys are all with the same people.
Right. Catherine's the only one who's mixed up. She's got residential today.
Okay, I'm going to leave these by the printer.
Yeah.
And so you know where they are.
I mean, can you listen in with him today?
What's that?
You prefer not to listen in with him today? Harold? Okay.
What's
Because
that?
I just don't know if he needs some help. I was my mistake to give him 43.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what was the question?
No, did you want to sit in with him, or you prefer not to do that?
No, I'll be consistent. I haven't sat with him.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. So he'll.
They just
It is what
have
it
the
is.
opportunity,
Yeah.
you know.
I get it. Okay, I just.
Yep.
He looked okay, but I just feel bad that I did that to him alone. So all right. Okay, I'm sorry. Brick and mortar retail.
It was being impacted even prior to the pandemic, and I think that, the data value 10/1/2020 certainly
Right.
should be adjusted somewhat for the pandemic. Again, on 11/25, the full market value is at $290 a square foot. My pro forma, market value analysis is at $214 a square foot. Again, and that's at an 8% cap rate, but even at a 7% cap rate, I think we're at around $260 per square foot.
With the 8% cap rate, you're at what, 260?
No, with the 8%, I'm at 214.
214.
With
Okay.
7%, I'm at around 260.
Got it. 7%. And again, you had an informal hearing on these properties?
Correct.
Okay. And do you want to talk about the square footage on the 1139, or you treated them both the same?
No, both the same.
Okay. So the fair market value, do we have 295 on both of those?
Yeah, I think this one's a little higher. Sorry. Yeah, this one, so 1139 is at $341 per square foot.
1139, I'm sorry, say that again?
1139.
Yeah, is that?
So the current full market value is at $341.
That's what the town has you at? Okay.
Correct.
Okay. And you would like the same for that, the 214 and the 260?
It's same, similar tenants, similar occupancy, similar rents.
I mean, if it's okay with you, can you name what some of the tenants are? That might be helpful for anybody who's listening and wants to know sort of which properties we're talking about. Sometimes the numbers, we all kind of know where the brick walk is, but.
Yep.
Sure.
Sprint seems to be the tenant that's right up front there.
In 1125 or 1139? 1125?
Well, so I have them both. I just have one rent roll for both buildings.
Okay. Oh, so Sprint. Okay.
Yeah, Sprint, Puppy Love, Spa and Boutique, Chemfield Associates, Flipside.
Okay.
Um,
Now I know what you're talking about.
Okay.
And there's two addresses in that building, 1125 and 1139. Okay. Got it. Okay, anything else you want to tell me about those two?
I think that's it.
Okay. And where would you like to go now?
$12.75 post. That works.
All right, I'm going to check off my list. 139.
Scale number 425.
Let me just check off these on my list. 1139. I'm sorry, say that again?
The appeal number is 425.
425. Okay. 1275?
Correct.
Okay, Post Road. Do you have another one with this? Do you want to handle this one separately?
No, this one's just.
This one's by itself.
Yes, this one's by itself.
Okay, so we'll read into the record. So this is appeal number 425. Property address is 1275 Post Road. Owner of the property, RK Brick Walk 1, LLC.
The town's assessed value is $8,599,920. The appellant is requesting an assessed value reduction to $6,758,500. And again, this is your chance, and maybe that was very helpful to start with which clause it is, and then in my head I know exactly what you're talking about. So.
So you ready?
Yep, whenever you're ready, I'm good. I see,
Yes,
it looks like I have the income statement, the statement right here,
Yep.
the property card. Actually, I could look at the pictures. This is the back half of
Correct.
that building. So if you just want to read who a couple of tenants are, if anybody's listening, they'll know which building we're talking about. Is Brick Bagel King, is that who's in there on the end?
Yep.
And then there's a couple other restaurants or something.
Salon.
Yeah.
Hair design.
It's okay.
I don't have the list.
I know them just from
Okay.
living in town. So
Yep.
I'm like, oh, I know it's in there, no worries.
So this one again, $30.
Brick and wood, I think that's in there.
Yep.
Yep, okay, we got it. We're all for
So-
food, all right.
$30 per, $30 per square foot rent, 10% vacancy, and an 8% cap rate, and that's $272 per square foot, full market value. And the town has the full market value at $346 per square foot. Again, I just think it's one of those cases where the income statements that are submitted don't reflect some of those deductions that should be made for the tenant improvement allowances at lease inception and concessions and that sort of thing, in addition to, the additional risk with retail today, a little different than it was a few years ago. I use an 8% cap rate to end up at that value, but even at 7% cap rate, which I think 7% cap rate is more in line with pre-COVID, pre-pandemic, risk, but even at a 7% cap rate, we're still, about $1.2 million less.
Okay, what was it, what's the square footage with the 7% cap rate?
With the 7%
Yeah.
cap rate,
You
it's
said 274 with 8%, right? And the town had you at 346.
346, correct.
Okay.
And with 7%, we're at 310.
310.
Yeah.
And that's a pre-COVID, so you think 8% is more? And
I think it's more in line, but again, maybe somewhere in the middle. We dealt with it for 1 year. Hopefully, we're on the way out now. And
right.
I think it will impact retail forever, but.
And it does. I'm just looking at some of the other properties. This is the previous field cards, but it did look like, again, informal hearings, but they didn't change the value. Is that accurate for all of your properties? Or
Yes.
For all.
None of them.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I was a little surprised, but.
Okay, I think we're good on that one.
Yep.
We'll go a little faster. We've got the assessed and the other figured out here. Okay, where would you like to go now?
We do 1243 Post Road.
43.
Scale number 422.
Okay, so this is appeal number 422. Property address is 1243 Post Road. RK, the owner is RK Brick Walk 3 LLC. The town's assessed value is
$5,990. The requested value, assessed value is $1,605,100. I probably should state your name, and the appellant today is Michael Correa, right, of Ryan LLC?
Correct.
Okay.
I have the assessed value on the property card different.
You did, okay. So let me look up the field card and see what,
I have a copy here, I'm sure you can look it up.
oh, yeah, wait, sometimes they print them out. It is, did a property IDs on these forms today, but that fell off too, so. Okay, yeah, I see the town's appraised value at $2,865,700, and the town's assessed value at $2,005,990. Is that what I said?
Yep, that's what I have.
Town value assessed $2,005,990.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Did I say the wrong thing?
I thought you meant $2,500,000, sorry.
Oh, no, 5,000, sorry, 2 million, let me see if I say it right, 2,005,990.
Correct.
Okay, okay. And this is 1243 Coast Road.
Correct.
Okay.
So 1243 is a mixed-use building. So we have a couple of residential tenants in there. It is 100% occupied. I think the biggest thing is expense-wise, the landlord doesn't get reimbursed for any portion of the expenses from the residential tenants.
And can you just explain what you mean by that?
Sure. So some of
No,
the,
they don't pay heat or electric or something?
no, just they don't pay a portion of the taxes and insurance like the commercial tenants do.
Okay, anything else you want to tell me about this, or, for the
Yeah, so at an 8% cap rate, we're at about $282 per square foot. The full market value is $352 per square foot, and that's with, again, an 8% cap rate. Even with a 7% cap rate, we're at, sorry, so $2,600,000, which is about $322 per square foot versus the city. Versus the city's $352. And I think a 7% cap rate's probably more appropriate in this case where there's residential tenants, certainly the residential tenants. Residential properties, a little bit of a lower cap rate, multifamily, although it's not a big multifamily property, but.
I think I have my numbers backwards too. You came up with 282 for an 8% cap rate, right?
Correct.
Okay, and then the town had you at 352.
Correct. And that a 7% cap rate's 322.
320. And again, you think 7% is more appropriate?
I think 7% is appropriate in this case, because the residential portion of the building's about half.
Okay, so it's 50%. And that's easier to rent than the commercial?
Correct, and you don't have a long period of vacancy. Typically, you don't have, that 1 year vacancy.
And this building, any idea who's in here, 1243? Look at the field card. I should probably play with that.
Let's see. Fronto Chop Shop.
Oh, yeah.
Friends and Architects.
Finn.
Yeah.
Also, Finn.
And then the two residential tenants.
And Brandon's in there. Okay. And what's the size of that one again?
So.
How many square feet is that?
Yeah, so, just so, I mean, I don't know how accurate this is, we have 6,554 square feet. Looks like the city has 8,000, over 8,000 square feet. In my calculations, I used the city's, so the city has 8,138 square feet.
I'm sorry, 8,100 and what?
38.
1,138 square feet.
Yeah,
Okay.
if you look at the rental, we have 6,554. This could be just, common area inside.
You're 65, 54?
Right, doesn't
Right.
include common areas, that's just rentable area.
Right.
So, again, I mean, there should be an adjustment to the rents for that because it's unrentable space, the common areas in there.
So, yeah, 25% or so.
Yeah.
Okay, so 65, 54 is your rentable space.
Right.
Okay. 8,000 is the town
Yep.
square feet, and you're saying about 25% is open space, stairwells or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah, we typically measure the outside of the building for maybe their square footage. Is that typical of most of the others that you have that common space, or is this one unique in having
No,
that?
so the commercial ones you don't have.
You don't really have the common space.
Right, you don't have
so-
that common
okay,
space,
sure.
right, so
Okay,
it's just you have interior hallways with the residential stuff.
I see.
Well, not typically a ton with a commercial,
Right.
unless you're talking about a mall.
Thank you. Okay.
Want to do this one, it's easy.
Sure.
Appeal number 655-726 Old Post Road, right at the street.
Okay, so this is appeal number 655, property address 726 Old Post Road. Owner of the property is Brick Walk Associates LLC. The town's assessed value is $219,240. The appellant is requesting an assessed reduction to $185,850. And the appellant again is Michael Correa of Ryan LLC.
Correct.
Am I saying Korea right?
Yes.
Or is it Korea?
It doesn't matter.
Well, which do you like?
It's Korea, yeah, Korea.
It is Korea.
I say pronounce it like the country. But
Yeah, that gets my brain in the right place. Okay. And again, there's a duly authorized agent.
Yes.
Okay.
So this is just a parking lot for vacant parcel. On the property card, the land value is listed as that our opinion of value is $265,500, and then there's an adjustment, a neighborhood adjustment to the parcel, which brings it up to that market value of $313,000. I just think that the 265 is more fair for the market value, where this is just a supporting parcel for the adjacent.
Let me just look at this.
Buildings.
Yeah, so you're looking at the landline valuation on the
Right.
parking lot? Okay.
Right.
So the neighborhood, where's the neighborhood code? C4, oh, that's commercial. Okay, so that's what that means. So probably any property that is I believe this is true, any property that has a neighborhood code of C4 is going to have that same
Right,
adjustment
same
to
adjustment,
1.05.
right.
Right, it's really the condition factor of 0.4 that's
Yep.
bringing you down, and it says something about access. So if you just
Right.
want to speak, is it a difficult parking lot to access, or is it because?
No, I think the access just means this parcel is just providing access to parking and to the, it's a supporting parcel for the commercial building.
The commercial buildings, okay. What do you call the supporting parcel?
A supporting parcel.
Okay. And tell me again, for the land, the town has, I mean, if you look at the market value of the property or whatever, not that we want to start talking about that, but they have it at $313.
Right.
Okay. And you want it to be at a market value of $265, or that's the second
Correct.
value? Okay, so that's market.
Yeah, it's actually in the notes here, parking, if you looking at notes under sets of neighborhood parking for map 180, lots 7 and 8. Field.
Parking for map 181,
Right.
got it, okay. And again, informal hearings, but that doesn't look like they gave you any changes.
Right.
So we're going to go to 265 market. And this is 726 Old Post Road, is it?
Correct.
They show a picture of it, or no, because it's a parking lot?
No, I don't
They
think
do.
this-
Oh, they don't? Yeah, no sketch.
No sketch, no picture.
Okay, 726 Old Post Road, not Post Road.
Right.
Okay, so where is that? Is it, it's not the library, no, 726 Old Post Road. I'm just curious, I know you probably aren't as familiar with them, as those of us who live here, but let's see. I'll map it. Just because it has an old post road address, I expected it to have a post road address. Look at the map. Oh, it's a vacant parcel? Did you guys purchase it recently?
Was it recent,
It
2014?
wasn't, okay.
No, 2000, no, 2007.
Okay, maybe they're just not dropping the pin in the right place, because with an old post road address, you know, Google Maps anyway is putting it right on the, it's putting it on the old post road, like right out in front of our building, and that's not
Yeah,
where the
right.
access is. Yeah, so it has an old post road address, but it's probably accessed somehow
Right,
from
it's
the
part of
back.
the brick walk. Yep.
It's part of the brick walk. Okay, so Google Maps is not right, okay. That's an old post road. The GIS probably has it correct. Give me 1 second. I'm a visual person, so I can know where it was. I'm going to look at it talking about it. Yep, behind 1239 and 1221, additional parking. Okay. Kind of behind the folk funeral home, so there's the, yeah. Okay, that's that one. Okay,
So we can do 1189 and 1215 Post Road, appeal number 469 and 423.
okay, so I'm going to read these two into the record. We can handle them together. Okay, there's two appeals here. The first is appeal number 469, property address 1215 Post Road. The owner is RK Brick Walk 1 LLC. The town's assessed value is $674,170. The requested reduction is to $498,540. The second appeal is appeal number 423, 1189 Post Road. The owner is DKF LLC. The town's assessed value
is $3,646,160. The requested value is $843,400. Again, Attorney Michael Correa of Ryan LLC is the duly authorized agent to represent these two parties.
So with these two, so 1215 Post Road is the parking lot for 1189.
Sorry, give me 1 second. Many papers here. Okay. Can't wait for COVID to be over. We won't have to do. Okay. We'll have to do less of it, put it that way. All right. Okay, sorry.
Yep, so 1215 Post Road is the parking lot for 1189 Post Road. So the case with this one, and again, this is a mixed-use building, so again, the net leasable area, there's a pretty significant difference. This one's about 3,300 square foot difference between the assessor's records.
So 3,000, would you say 300 square foot difference?
Yeah.
This is the parking lot. You're talking about, or you're talking about the building?
Oh, no, I'm talking about the building.
The building, okay. So 1189, okay. Just go over forever. Okay. 1189 Post Road, you said is about a 3,000 square foot difference?
Right.
Okay.
3,300, but again, likely interior space. So.
Of interior space, okay. And the difference is that, okay. So can you just tell me what the town has for square footage and what you,
Yep.
okay.
Town has 20,071 square feet.
71? Okay.
Correct. And
Rentable is, okay.
rentable area, 16,700.
So that's the 330 square foot difference. Okay.
So with this one, I think the assessment's actually fair if you consider that the assessed value of the parking lot, so the building wouldn't be able to operate and generate the income without the parking lot. So the assessed value for 1189, in my opinion, should be reduced by the assessed value of the parking lot. If the where the parking lot's being assessed separately, we just wouldn't be able to generate the income without the parking. So I don't think we're that far apart on this one.
Okay. So you wanted to take the 674 number off of the 3,006,000, and that's how you come down to the 2,008,000. You want to take the parking, so you think the assessed value is correct if you subtract the parking.
Correct.
Okay. And do you believe the assessed value on the parking lot is correct?
The parking lot, just again, it's that adjustment, the neighborhood adjustment. This one's a C7. So it has a land value of 883.
The other one was a C4. Okay. The C7, I don't know what those values do to the, they obviously adjust the land value somehow. So you probably looked at it more than me. Does a C7 do more, give you a higher value than a C4? I'm curious.
Yeah, I'm actually not sure.
Whether the numbers go up or down, but that's okay. So the neighborhood adjustment is a C7 on that,
Right.
on the parking lot.
Right.
Okay. And you think it's too high?
It's essentially, stuff you have to look at the two together, I guess.
Right, exactly.
Because one can't really operate without the other.
Right.
Is the parking lot even worth, what I'm saying the value is without the building there?
Yep. Right here.
Is that pretty typical? I don't even know. I haven't done that much commercial to know that the parking lots are appraised, you know, or assessed separately from the buildings.
Well, I mean, what happens is
Right?
typically, you know, either the assessor will ask the owner to put them together,
Right.
or the owner will actually, you know, get the legal work done and put them together. I don't know why they keep them separate, but
And you don't know on this one why they're separate?
I don't.
Okay.
I don't handle that for them.
Yeah, that's right. It's 1189 Post Road. Let me just find this one.
Yeah, the parking lot's 1215, 1189 is the building.
Yeah. What do I want to do? Search by address. Yeah. See the response there. In front of the, oh, okay. Okay, no, what's in there. I think of the name of the store in there. Where Joseph Banks.
Yep.
Okay. Let's see, say, 1215 Post Road. I want to see where that was.
Yep.
Outside it or behind it, or, okay. Oh, maybe it's not find that. Huh. Is that your one? 1215 Post Road.
Yeah, 1215.
Yeah, it's not showing up on our GIS. That's kind of interesting. Let's try it one more time. I think I did it right. Once I search by owner, 1215 Post Road. Yep, I did. I typed in owner name. Okay. So it's to the right of the building. Okay. So probably the parallel parking. Okay, yeah. Yeah, looking at that, I would think, I don't know, kind of weird shape, but I would think it would be attached to one of those commercials on the class.
Right.
So, okay. What would you like to do next? We're making progress.
Yeah, that's it, reaching the finish line. So 1519 Post Road.
Okay.
Appeal number 652.
Okay, so we read this one into the record. This is appeal number 652. Property address is 1519 Post Road. The owner is Applebaum, S-O-A-L-S, or is that just a truncated
So
name?
there's just several
Et al.
owners.
Okay, yep. And again, the town's assessed value is $10,422,720. The requested assessed value is $8,575,000. And again, Attorney Michael Correa of Ryan LLC is representing is the duly authorized agent. see, is this, life is good, so I see one
Right.
picture. Okay, so this is on the Post Road, closer to the Fairfield View Bookstore, is that whole property,
Yeah.
or, so it's the Fairfield View Bookstore property, okay.
Let me give you some of these other tenants. There's Karate Studio, Kempo Academy of Martial Arts, office, so this has a bunch of office, Merrill Lynch, Avalon Bay Communities, there's Fitness for You.
Okay, and this is 2 stories, are some of these offices on the second floor?
Right, correct.
Okay. This is helpful for me when I see the size of the parcel.
So it looks like only a portion of the shopping center, right? It's not the whole
It's
thing.
not the whole thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Fairfield View Bookstore is in that portion? Looks like, yeah.
I think so, yes. Looking at the picture, it looks like the back cuts back, and I think, I think to the left, Victoria's Secret was on the corner, and then a couple of clothing stores, Apricot Lane, so it's probably where the Fairfield View Bookstore is.
Yeah, I think sometimes just the tenant might have a different name.
Yeah, well, there's a different street, there's a different number, so there's there's 1519 kind of on 2 pieces here, but then there's a separate parcel next to it, 1499, and then 1547 and 1565, so looks like that shopping plaza is broken up, at least by street or so, I just want to make sure. And maybe are these different field cards? Let me see. Also 1519 on the field card. Do you have a field for the other one? For $14.99?
We did $14.99.
We did, and I just wasn't asking you who was in there when you started. Oh, no, I got $14.99 here, we haven't done it yet, but that's okay. And then you got 2 on Black Rock Terminal. Okay, so it is separate, looks like you submitted a separate appeal, so we should be good, okay.
I submitted those together. No,
You want to do them together?
I thought I did that. But maybe I didn't. I try to keep,
How you keep it straight.
well, I try to keep it straight.
Let's see.
Okay, this also looks like, this also includes the garage. Part of it, according to the GIS, and parking garage. 49% of this lot is the parking garage, 51% is on the other lot. So, okay, 49% of parking garage. And you're not sure if your income statement is if these 2 properties are combined on one statement.
Well, I believe they are, that's why I thought I submitted them together.
Yeah, you might have that, because I have the $14.99 here. Let me see. So if I look at, if I look at the very first page of the income statement, you can tell me, I guess, yeah, one is color, one is black and white, so I'm guessing that's what you see for a pattern.
Yeah.
So we can do both of them together. Okay, so let me read the other one into the record as well. So, it's third time. Okay, so I'm going to read this one in as well. This is appeal number 427, property address 1499 Post Road. Owner is RK Fairfield 1 LLC. The town's assessed value is $10,607,170. The requested value is $8,750,000. And again, attorney Michael Correa of Ryan LLC is here as the duly authorized agent.
goes with, so this would be the left side as you're facing the building. And that's probably Apricot Lane. A couple of them have changed over a bit. Victoria's Secret on the corner. And it's got offices upstairs, right?
Yep.
And it's, again, whatever it is, 51% of the parking garage, probably. And the town has these pretty close to each other, and your reflected values are pretty close as well, right? I mean, other than the town has one slightly more than the other, maybe that's just because of 51% of the parking garage, square footage wise, virtually probably divided in half.
Yeah, so that when I discussed this with, during the informal hearings, the only issue was that some of these, like the Fitness for You, I mean, they're at $11 base rent. There's just a couple of tenants that are paying these lower rents that I don't think were reflected. The Underground Box and the Kenpo Studio, those are all well under $20 per square foot. Even the Wingland Low T Center, I know that's an office client, but even
sorry, they're $20. They pay about $20 a square foot.
well, they pay less, $18.45, $18.51.
Okay.
Fitness for You pays $11.86. So I think that if there was an adjustment made in order to reflect those rents, I think we'd be a lot closer.
Okay. Adjustments for those low rents.
Right.
Okay. Out of the percentage of the building, how much is that? Or what do you usually get on the rest of it? Yeah, are those guys in the basement?
Yeah, so the Fitness for You is in the basement.
And you said underground boxing, I'm assuming that's in the basement too. Okay.
I'm not sure if the Underground Boxing is, but...
Okay. Other than the word underground makes me think it would be.
Right, no, I know.
I've never
I know,
heard
but
that.
it's not. I'm pretty sure it's not, so...
Is Fitness for You, I guess, does it matter which buildings those are in? Do you know if they were in 1499?
Yeah, see, I don't know, just because I have it all on one rent roll.
Right, that's okay.
Yeah, so again, I think on these, we're not that far off. I think it's just those small adjustments to those rents, I think, would make the difference.
So what do we have you at for all the other ones? Any idea?
Yeah, the other
At a
ones
square foot?
are, for the rents, they're at, $35, $30, $20.
Okay, so 20, 35,
Yeah.
30, okay.
Yeah, like the opticians, Park Lane opticians are $20. Kate and Hale, $33. Newton Medical Aesthetic, $35.
And what's the bookstore? Any idea? Do they pay market rate? I'm just curious. Several people in the store.
Yeah, so I don't have them as a bookstore. I wonder what they mean.
Oh, it's
Oh, Fairfield University Bookstore.
yes, that'd be it. I'm just curious.
Um,
And they have probably, they're one of the larger tenants.
yeah, they have 23,000 square feet. Let me see. Right. I don't have that one calculated out per square foot. I don't know. Yeah, they pay $23.
And in general, we have you at about $30 a square foot for the whole building?
Right.
For both buildings?
Yep.
Did you come up with an average square footage when you subtracted those other two, that, the fitness, the low guys?
I did not.
You did, okay, no, that's all right.
just because these, I felt that we were so close.
Right.
With the assessed value.
But there's just certain tenants at certain square footages that we have those up and subtracted them from the top
Right.
that you want, that, yeah, okay. Okay, so. And now we have two on Black Rock, oh, wait a minute, let's just have it folded, that's not a good idea, all right, 4852. I put it in the wrong one.
And again, one's a parking lot, so. Yeah.
23, yeah, well, no, I looked up the Applebaum, that was one of the ones we just did, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, just put it back in the folder. Do you want to do these together or separate?
Yeah, it's the parking lot, so 2271 is the parking lot for 2181.
Let me read these two into the record. First one is appeal number 426, 2181 Black Rock Turnpike. The owner of the property is RK Black Rock 1 LLC. The town's assessed value is $18,491,760. The requested reduction is to $14,271,600. And I'll read the second one. It's appeal number 653. Property address 2271 Black Rock Turnpike. The owner is RK Black Rock 3 LLC. The town value is the town assessed value is $509,600. The requested amount is $281,221. And again, attorney Michael Correa of Ryan LLC is here as a duly authorized agent for both the property and the parking lot. Sorry about that. Hopefully. Are you in Boston? I see that.
I am.
You are. Oh, both my boys live up there.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Where?
Massachusetts. So.
Where?
Well, I shouldn't say they're living there because now with COVID, we have a place on the Cape, and so they're spending more time there trying to figure out how they can stay in mom's house and not pay rent on Beacon Hill, and one's in Beacon Hill, one's on the South End, but they're in between. One of them, got a car, wherever they can find a laundry and a place to set up their computer so they can work. It's an interesting time. If I was in my late 20s like that.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
With no children,
I agree.
One just got a puppy, but other than that, he's got to figure out what to do with the dog. But
Yeah, so my oldest, she's on 17, so she's a junior, so it's like, we're trying to visit colleges and stuff, it's been a hard year for her.
It's been very
hard year for her.
Yeah, but I love Boston. My first job was up there someday.
That's nice that there's a place with a cave. We have a place at Good Harbor Beach in Gloucester.
Oh,
we
nice.
bought a few years ago, so.
Yeah.
It's not quite the Cape, but.
Yeah, I grew up on the Cape, so my folks are still there, so that feels like home for me. So when all these appeals are over, I'm going to give myself at least a weekend to get out for a minute. So, okay, so let's see, I just want to make sure that this is, I'm just going to reference one to the other, so it goes with appeal number 426.
It's the parking lot. Or, okay, sorry.
So with this one, good amount of vacancy. One of the buildings, so the 2181, 2183 building, just about 40% vacant.
2181 and 2183?
Right.
Or
So
what,
that,
50% vacant?
it's 40% vacant.
40% vacant?
Yep.
Is this the Gap? No.
Yeah, no, the vitamin shop.
Oh, yes, the Starbucks?
Yep.
Okay. Must be more than that because of that value.
Right. Massage Envy, AT&T, GameStop. Sure, they're no longer.
Yeah, it's probably the whole big parking lot. Okay, so Vitamin Shop, GameStop.
Yep. Old Navy.
It is Old Navy, okay.
Einstein, yep.
Yep, Gap. Old
Yep,
Navy.
yep.
Okay, okay. Okay. Now I know what you're talking about.
So with the generating the value that we did, we used a $25 per square foot rent and a 10% vacancy. The rent could probably be a little higher. We have some tenants paying a little more, obviously, like, the Einstein brothers and the restaurant type tenants tend to pay a little bit higher. But, it's primarily due to the build out at the inception of the lease. But again, even at a rent a little bit higher, the vacancy would be higher. But at $25 per square foot rent and a 10% vacancy with an 8% cap rate, we're about $235 per square foot. City's value is $304 per square foot.
Town is 304.
Right. And again, the biggest difference with this one, when we had the informal hearing, was the rents and the vacancy. At the informal hearing, they had significantly higher rents. I think they were actually closer to $40 per square foot, and the economic vacancy was about 5%, which I understand that we need to use the market, but the building is suffering a little bit from vacancy, and again, those lower rents.
But this one did not get a reduction at the informal?
Did not.
It did not. So at the informal, they were told you're $40 a square foot, 5%
Right.
vacancy, and that's how they come up with the 304.
Yep.
Okay. You want it to be at $235 a square foot, about $25 a square foot with a 10% vacancy, 8%
Right,
cap
or
rate.
we could increase the rent a little bit, in all likelihood, based on some of the tenants, but then we'd have to increase the vacancy, so I think it'd be close, but if we take, even if we went with a 7% cap rate, still about $23 million, which works out to be around $268 per square foot.
So tell me again how you came up with the 268?
Just use a 7% cap rate.
7%
instead of
cap rate,
8.
okay.
Yep,
All
I'm
right.
still at 268 per square foot.
So that's with the 8% cap, 268. As opposed to the 304. So what do they use for a cap rate when they do the town one? That's the difference, that's different than the vacancy, right?
Right. So the cap rate, I think it was 7%. I forget. I did a ton of these, but I think he was at around 7%.
And you're saying with COVID, the 8% cap rate.
Right. So what we did is added, 1 point to the cap rate just for the additional risk of the pandemic.
1% is cap rate. Okay, and anything about the parking lot in particular?
Well, again, just the parking lot, I mean, they operate as one economic unit, can't really have one without the other, so, you know, at a minimum, you know, in my opinion, the assessment for, you know, the building should be reduced by at least the value of the parking lot.
Did you state this in the informal, to the,
I did.
the hearing? So,
Yes.
so he was able to,
Yes.
okay. Anything else you
So
want?
the only last thing I have is, I did a lease comp summary, which I submitted, just to show market rents, which is, you know, to support why we use the rents we use in our pro forma income approaches. I only submitted one copy, just to save paper, I guess, more than anything else, and postage. I don't know if you want to take another copy, but
Do you know if they, so you did submit it already?
I submitted it with the entire package, but only one copy, because
Got it.
the rents would, I mean, they're relevant to each of them, because they're all similar retail rents.
So whether they added it to everybody's packet or not,
Right.
we're not sure, but okay, so it's called the lease comp summary, I'll have to find that, I wasn't really looking for it in here, so if you want to give me that copy,
Yep,
then I'll
I
at
will.
least know.
Yep.
And just tell me what again is in there?
It's just support for the market rents that we use in our income approach.
For market rent. Okay, anything else you want to add? Just that, right, we'll add that to the record, or make sure that it's in there for all of these properties. And I'm just going to read you our summary statement. So, thank you for coming today. I'll be presenting your petitions to a majority of the board at a deliberation session for consideration and vote. You'll be notified by mail of the board's decision within 7 days of the decision. We hope to make all decisions in March, but this year we have 650 of them, so I'm going to be going into April. I think we're going to need an extension. But anyway, if your appeal is denied, you can come back next year. If you're granted a reduction, you cannot appeal again until the next revow in 5 years. And if you don't agree with the board's decision, you can take the next step and appeal your decision in court. Instructions on how to do so will be in your decision letter.
Thank you.
Anything else?
That's it.
We're good. All right. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.
I learned a lot in that period of time, it puts my brain in a very different place than,
Yep,
you know,
appreciate
broken
it.
boilers and
Yep.
whatever else we get with the real estate, yeah, wetlands and everything. So if you could just sign one of these for me before you go, and then I will add that to all of those appeals. I think it's the 12th,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
I think
just
it's my
making
brother's
sure.
birthday. I need to remember.
Great. I think the other
Okay.
is for you.
Great. Well, thanks very much. You're going back to Boston?
I am, yeah, I stayed last night. I had a hearing in Meriden last night, so I stayed here and then head back home.
Good. Well, no traffic with COVID, so you shouldn't, you know.
Well, I know, it's starting to pick up again though, believe it or not.
Is it?
So, yeah, this one, so we were doing, you know, a couple of days in the office, a couple of days out, and now it's already starting to pick up again.
Well, I'm not looking forward to Cape summer traffic. You know,
What I
I
used-
sort of
oh, I
avoided
know.
that last
Right.
summer a little bit, but it'll happen.
But what I was doing, you know, before COVID is I would be in the office, you know, I'd leave my house at 5 a.m. to avoid the traffic, and I'd be gone by 2, so.
Right.
That way it gives me some time to coach the kids and stuff. So
Nice.
it's fun.
Well, good for them. Well, good luck with the college
Thank you
search.
very much.
It'll be fun.
Appreciate it.
Okay, bye-bye. This is Kathleen Griffin. It is, what is it here? It is 10:40
a.m. on Friday, March 12th. This is the end of the morning appeals in Conference Room 3.